far.
It is.
Jodie's era, Chibnall's era. Ryan, you got a little now. You got a look in, just a little one.
You got a mention.
One mention. Doctor Who: The Power of the Doctor has aired. We watched it together. There's a commentary available for our beautiful patrons. It's available in the Discord if you want to hear us react to quite a few things. That's available to you. I'm Will.
And I'm Sam.
And we're going to talk to you about all the spoilers. But before we get to the spoilers, spoiler free, how'd you feel?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
It was... Look, we haven't been the biggest fans of the show for the past few years, and it's not like we aren't avid fans of it.
Yeah.
Like, we've been fans since we were literal kids.
Yeah.
Like, we met through this fan.
That's true.
Yeah. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like we were just doing it out of like being petty and not being true fans of the show. It was just that, and it wasn't anything to do with Jodie.
No.
She was great.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that the way they took the show and the way it was going and the writing was just not
horrible.
the best. It was just bad.
Yeah.
But in saying all that, I'm glad that we got a very, very solid episode to round out her era.
Totally. And it was weird because I think it definitely felt like the way her era had been. Like, it definitely felt like a Chris Chibnall, but it felt like what we expected it to feel like. We're like, why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
Where's that been the last 3 years?
Like, he opened with such a great moment of just like chaos and things happening.
Yeah. Like, we literally both looked at each other and went, it feels very Matt Smith.
Like, we were like, it's cool. Like, you'll hear it in our little
commentary.
thinger.
Yeah.
And I was just being like, this is great.
What's happening?
Yeah.
And it never stopped. I think it was pretty good start to end.
Yeah.
I think, surprisingly, they did manage to kind of tie up everything and do everything. Like, it really felt like they weren't gonna get there. At the start, they just kept introducing so many plot threads. But in the end, they definitely they wrapped it up. I think it was good. I think it's nice to have something that I want to watch of her era. It's sad that it's not actually. It's wild because it doesn't. You can turn off when you need to play Xbox. It's wild because it's like. Not only do we not really have much of an emotional attachment to her era, the episode itself doesn't. Like, the episode doesn't feel like, Matt Smith's final episode, it felt like it was wrapping up he was always the imaginary friend. He was the whimsical doctor.
Yeah.
So he has this awesome episode where he protects a town and he's that hero that he always is. Tennant has like his farewell tour. He was always the action doctor. Eccleston was a very emotional doctor, so he has that. Capaldi was like this fucking old man, and that's kind of whereas this just felt like it ended.
I think
there wasn't something to kind of go, it's her thing.
Yeah, but I think in saying that, it's because there wasn't anything to go, this is her thing.
Yeah, the
like
whole series.
She was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And again, it just comes down to the writing of the show.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you wrote her to be a character where there was a lot of emotion attached to her and there was maybe a certain trait that other doctors didn't have, then you could have played that into this final episode and it would have been great.
Totally.
Because even the little plot line, like with her and Yaz having like a feeling for each other. Nothing happens. And I think the most obscure thing for me, and I think I'll go into a bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, we're in spoiler territory.
Is like when Yaz leaves, you'd think that if there was that like emotional attachment to a person, it'd be a lot more of a harder farewell.
Yes.
Than just being like, just pop me off here in a park.
Totally. Which, like, I get, like, they were kind of playing into the angle of, like, it was so emotional that they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, of course.
I get that, but it wasn't even written that like, it was written that way, but it wasn't acted that way. It felt as nonchalant as dropping Dan off at the start. Like, it was so just like, I need to leave. And like, just that whole thing, which really only got set up 2 episodes ago in the Dalek New Year's episode. Really felt like it was going to build to something, and then this episode, the whole episode, that never really comes back until she's dying, and it's like, you can tell that emotion's there, but it's just, it's so weird that because I wish that it was more. I wish that arc was, and I don't love doctor-companion relationships. I think it is always going to be very hard to do. It's very awkward, but like, this was a bit of representation. It was something very new for the show, and it sucks that they just fumbled it every time.
I mean, I think it also just seems a bit like on their part of them being like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Oh, actually, no, maybe not. Let's do it. Oh, no, maybe not.
Totally.
And like, look, I'm not exactly going to lose sleep over the fact that nothing happened and it wasn't there, because at the end of the day, I'm here just to watch a show. It's not going to affect me. But it's like watching the show as a fan. It's frustrating. It's just like a very confusing thing because it's like, well, is it happening or is it not?
Like, because Doctor Who's such a linear show in that like anything that happens follows through. And so the fact that so many ties just fell away in in her entire era. Every time we talk about an episode, we just get to hating on the whole era. So the episode itself, lots going on constantly, and I was very shocked that they kept introducing new arcs. I think that they resolved basically all of them by saying the Master did it. And I think we all kind of assumed it was going to be. Like, it's the easy out, and it was what they went with. But I think it was okay, and I think that it added an element of... And I wonder, I feel like some Doctor Who fans would hate if I'd say this, but it added an element of dumb to the show that I feel like it had been missing.
I mean, I feel like... to wrap it up nicely, you needed that. Like, especially because I was going through the socials after we watched it, and I was just getting very mad at everyone. But someone mentioned that they didn't necessarily wrap up the Timeless Child arc. Someone did bring up the fact that she does sort of wrap it up by mentioning that she realized that diving too deep into this sort of stuff is going to put herself and other people in danger. So she thought better of it and like,
put it on a shelf.
And I feel like that dumb factor is there because it's like, if you start anything too serious and do anything too serious, it's like you're going to have to work extra harder to wrap it all up.
Totally.
And I feel like where they're going with the show, you needed everything to wrap up here. Because like, obviously, apart from what happens at the very end. But it's like you needed everything of her era to wrap up, because there's no way they would have wanted to like have that go forward until
and like I would assume tonally, like the RTD era is going to be so different that it totally won't fit in it. So I was glad that they barely touched it, but what they did wrap up was pretty good. I think it's so funny that like I feel like children have never really been in Doctor Who in the way that they were with the Timeless Child thing. So the fact that you see a child at the start and they're like going for it, it's like, oh, is it back the Timeless Child thing?
Totally.
It turned out to be an alien that is the thing that you care the most about. Which implies that both Yaz and the Doctor care about kids a lot. Because I assume they were both seeing the same thing. Which is... It's one of those cool Doctor Who premises, but it's like, why is it here? Like, let that be an episode.
Just thinking of that, it would have been cool if, like, when they opened up the little, like, prison thing they were in, if Yaz was like, Doctor, it's you.
Like,
totally. That would have been cool.
That would have been sick. And then she's seeing a kid.
And she's seeing a kid. She's like, what are you talking about?
That would have been sick.
That would have been cool.
That's an episode.
Come on, guys.
Maybe it'll come back around. The biggest thing this episode does is a lot of fan service. Which, again, his era never really did that much of. And this one also is part of the BBC's 100th anniversary is this month. So it's kind of like a little bit of a 60th episode. Like we kept saying, it felt like Day of the Doctor in terms of scale and stuff. But yeah, I loved that the old guys were there.
It was great. it was so nice. Good. A lot of the, like, look, in terms of like a visual aspect of this episode, it did look very good.
It did.
There were a lot of times though where some of the effects and what they were doing, I was a bit like, well, that's a choice. But no, like for the most part, it did look really good. And like, I hope that going forward, they do really just put 100% effort into this show now, knowing that fans are going to be invested. Those that are on Twitter, you can fuck off. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, because from what we can already see is coming forward, it's like just put in your all and have it be good. And then just, if you're constantly good, the show will grow.
It'll blossom. Totally. Like, obviously you can't do this every week.
No.
You can't have doctors and you can't have all the monsters and stuff. But like I turned to you while we were watching it, it was kind of like, oh, I wish we had this feeling of Doctor Who every week.
And
because this didn't even feel like Russell T Davies or Moffat era. It felt like current TV in the way that it's constantly exciting. Like, you know, the best of the Marvel stuff or the best of the Star Wars or even Stranger Things. It's like every scene has a thing that you're like, oh, sick. That's cool. And like, I feel like Doctor Who needs to do that to stay relevant as it pushes forward.
Well, that's what it used to be. Whereas nowadays, it was kind of like you would press play, sit through it and go...
Accept it.
Oh, okay. Like, there wasn't any... Like, genuinely, throughout her era, I cannot, off the top of my head, think of anything that really stands out.
No.
Whereas if you think about back on like 10, 11 and even 12, it's like so many moments stand out. And it's because their episodes had those really like impact and like just had a lot going for them like at the time.
Totally, totally. And like, I can't think of a single action sequence. I can't think of like a shock moment. Because even the episodes that I liked, like, episodes. I should just say episode. I like the Rosa episode, but I don't remember it. I just know that I enjoyed it at the time. Whereas, I can recite these moments from the past.
Like the only real episode that I really have locked in my brain is just her very first one.
Yep.
Because even like with Rosa, like I understand that what they were trying to convey in terms of like the message in the show was really good.
Yep.
But in terms of an episode, not much happens.
No. And you got the weird Captain Jack guy running around. What's he up to?
Yeah, well, what the hell? But like that's just what a lot of her episodes were. It was just people having a walk around chatting.
Yeah.
I mean, the weirdest one was the guy with the fingers. Remember him? And his fingers would come off and go into your ear.
Yeah, the sleep guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest one. But,
that's right.
But just a lot of like, I think the one line we always said to each other during watching it, which is like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That
which we said in this, but it was exciting.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm confused but happy to see what's happening. Whereas, not during her era. The other element that we always hated, that's basically what this is the music. Whereas in this, it actually was pretty good.
It was just like, you actually noticed it. You know?
Yes. There was some, there's still no themes. Which is the one thing that
like she has a little bit of a theme.
She does.
Which like in the series lead up to this, I really didn't notice at all. And then it was here. It was as she was in the TARDIS lying down that it started to swell, and I was like, "Oh, that's
her theme."
Really shouldn't be hearing that in the last episode. I mean, I know it has played throughout the series, but it's like, if you think of like 11,
you know the theme.
You know his theme.
Yeah.
But here it was just very.
I hope whoever we get next, because I think it's a new composer from what I know. I mean, maybe it'll be Murray Gold. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he'll be back. But I did like the music in this one. Visuals are great. I mean, I don't know. I think it was overall fun.
Episode. Like and that's what you want. Like it was an overall fun episode.
Yeah. We should talk about the Chibnall era tried to introduce so many things.
Yes.
And none of them fucking worked. But the one thing they introduced in this with the old Doctors was really cool. Like the concept of that
was great because it's something that it doesn't in any way affect the show whatsoever.
Not at all.
It's just a nice little piece of like Time Lord lore that is in the back of your head now to know that when they regenerate, there's a bit of like a stasis.
They go somewhere.
Yeah. Like just for like a split second, and then
they pass beyond. And great reveal.
Absolutely.
Such a good,
it was so good.
Perfectly timed. I can't wait to watch that and the regen.
What I'm hoping for is because as they were going, they were like revealing all these current Doctors who are still alive. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to see 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping is that because we didn't see
the
9, 11 or 12,
yeah,
maybe they'll show up in the 60th. Because I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. What a weird thing. Imagine if they did show 10 there and then he's at the end.
Yeah.
What a strange...
Totally.
Yeah. And the other one that we didn't see is Tom Baker, who is very old.
Yes.
So maybe he just can't do it anymore.
Like that. Because like, it would have been really cool to see him. But like we saw a photo of him the other week doing a signing for a vinyl and he just looks very old. So,
we may not see him.
100% understandable.
But who knows? Like, given that this will be another... anniversary, maybe we'll go back to the idea of the curator, and maybe maybe again they were holding on for another appearance later, but we'll see. But I love that. I loved getting the like very modern ways of talking with the Doctor and Companion, like getting their closure moments, which like the classic series being what it was never really was that. It wasn't. I mean, it was a different time for television, so there wasn't really emotions like that in TV. But I think because they're old and like, you know, fans have such attachments to them, we've created the kind of emotional lives that those characters had beyond. So it was really cool to have those closure moments with them. And I love that they let them be old. Like, I love Star Wars for, trying to keep all their actors young, but I love that Doctor Who is always like, it's what they look like, man. We can't do anything about that.
Because it's also the thing where, in terms of a regen, it's like if you stay as that one regen, you are going to age normally.
Yeah, we've got that set up now.
Until your body passes away of old age and then you regen into a new person.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes sense for that one incarnation to age in their own head.
In their way station thing. Yeah. I love that.
That's cool.
It's like that combined with what the trailer we got for the next thing. It's interesting the amount of things that they've already given us in terms of what you could give us for a 60th.
Totally.
Like that felt like an anniversary episode because it's like Daleks, Cybermen, old doctors, stuff like that. So I hope that we don't get that again. Like, I hope that Russell and Chibnall talked and were like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. So, like, you do something else that's exciting.
I mean, it definitely felt like, because I think we even said briefly, like, this episode definitely felt like, let's just do the most here. So then for the anniversary, we can do something very different, something very unique at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is what I really, I just want a very like hearty, like good, like when you bite into like a good burger, and it's like, actually a better one, like when you get a good bit of food from Subway, and that first bite of Subway.
Now I know it's
stomach.
So close.
I know, but like you have that first bite of Subway,
and it's just all there.
It's just all there. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's like you want an episode like that. You want to leave being like, that was great.
That was a good meal.
Yeah,
and I get a little cookie as well. A little side cookie.
Little something.
Like, that's the thing. I mean, let's talk about the regeneration moment, which was phenomenal. I loved that, like, we knew that it was going to be outside, but I don't think we knew visually what it would look like.
Yeah, because it was very, very heavily... I mean, I think even maybe it was Chris Chibnall who had said it's going to be a different regeneration in terms of it's going to be outside the TARDIS. He also mentioned that visually it was going to be different, and I would assume, spoiler, that would mean in terms of the clothes changing as well.
I got lightning hands as well.
I mean, all we saw was like the vest matching in the tie, and we were gone.
Oh my god. Phenomenal. Like, even before it gets to him, beautiful visuals, and like, I guess it is coming full circle for her as well, because that's basically the promo photos of her were on a hill. And kind of bathed in light. So it's a nice, like, full circle for that. But oh man, seeing just the tie was something. And like, because he looked shit in the 50th. Like, they fucked his hair.
Yeah, his hair was terrible.
The Sonic was a little bit different and all that. I mean, the Sonic's apparently going to be very different in the future of this. But, like, the fact that he emerges and the hair's there, he looks the fucking same.
Just looks so crisp.
Yeah, it's like he's no time has passed.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, we reacted to... It's weird because it's the exact same thing as the Spider-Man. Because we knew the Spider-Man were in the movie. We knew they were in there.
Yeah.
And we reacted. But I feel like this one was bigger. I feel like this was like... Even though we've seen filming pictures, we're like, he's 100% back. There was something about just seeing him in high definition after, like, a different era as well. Like, the show that we kind of have fallen off, to see him back in front of a TARDIS was just unlike anything ever.
But also, I think, like, could you imagine our reactions if they weren't...
Man.
Because, like... because basically his episodes going forward now aren't coming out until the end of next year. Wouldn't it have been amazing if they did not start doing shooting on location until like next week?
Totally.
And no one knew this was coming. We would have been a mess.
The tenfold reaction would have, like, it was already big. Not knowing.
We ourselves would have let out a bunch of hands with lightning and just shut ourselves.
It would have been ridiculous. And I really do hope that we get that moment, because it's the same, like, we know Hugh Jackman's coming back. Like, I hope there's one of those, there's a moment
like,
coming.
There's something where it's just like
pure shock.
You didn't know.
Because the 50th had that in Tom Baker. Like, we didn't know he was in there. And then, like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I hope that there's, it's hard because they've kind of done everything. So, but I hope we have one of those moments. And maybe it'll be Matt Smith in the 50th. Like, it's one of those guys turning up. Please. I think that Russell will hold on to.
I think the biggest reaction, because like everyone loves like Matt and Peter, but if Chris Eccleston
that
came
would be
in,
wild.
If that happened, that I think would be game changer.
Totally.
Just to think of the context of the fact that he didn't really want anything to do with the show for a while, but he started to do like the audio dramas now with Big Finish.
Yep.
And he started doing cons, and he's more open now to like, talking about his time on the show.
Yep.
I do know though that him and Russell didn't really get along while filming, so it's like I can understand if he's not there. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. But it would just, in terms of like a very impactful moment for fans.
Yeah,
it would be crazy if he showed up.
I hope there's more than Tenet. I love David, and I'm glad that he's back, and I'm like gonna fucking love.
Yeah,
and I also love that. By all accounts, and it's very vague because, you know, he doesn't really say anything else but, like, I know these teeth. Like, it implies that it's 100% the 10th Doctor.
Yes.
Like, it's not...
Well...
Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to be parallel Earth stuff.
Yeah, no.
It'll be something weird. It's like, it's 100% there's, like, way more to it than he's turned back into him.
Yeah.
But, like, I like that I kind of now have come back around to I like that it is just him.
Yeah.
Well,
it was apparently it's been confirmed by Russell on the socials that David is now the 14th Doctor.
Yeah, okay.
And then Ncuti will be the 15th.
Yeah, okay.
So it's it's definitely like it's been a regen. There's going to be another regen.
Yeah.
But like you said, I reckon there's still something behind it.
There has to be something more because like the few words that are in that trailer that they put out was like something's wrong. I think he says something's wrong.
He says like, can someone tell me what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Ncuti says that, but like there's a line from Tenet in there that's like, something's gone wrong.
Yes.
Ncuti's in there.
Yeah,
which is cool.
It was great.
Yeah,
just from that 2 seconds,
which is sick. And yeah, like you said, he's wearing the shirt and the tie,
that Tennant's wearing. So yeah,
something's up. He's also kind of hill based.
Yeah,
so maybe the hill is a thing.
There's nothing but sky behind him.
Yeah.
So
maybe that cliff is like a returning point.
Maybe.
Like maybe there's something cyclical about like the end of the 3 episodes he comes back to that point and becomes Ncuti or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like that there's a mystery, like you say, like a good subway. I hope that it like feels like a movie. Like I hope that it feels big.
Like, because even from what we saw, like the shots of like in like the teaser for what's to come, there was a shot of like TARDIS appearing in an alleyway, him opening the door. It just visually looked more crisp and like a movie.
It looked like when the Series 5 trailer came out, and it was like, what the fuck is this show?
And like that, like everything was just like up to 11.
Yeah,
in terms of just like quality and like it being very like HD and like movie worthy in a way.
I'm hoping for that. I mean, you got Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh,
that's a get and a half. So
Barney Stinson.
Barney Stinson. Yeah. No, very excited. We ended up just talking about how much excited we're for the future, which is what we do every time we talk about this. Like, but the episode was good.
Yeah, no, the episode was good. But I mean, I think that's just it more so just seals that idea of like there wasn't much that happened in this era.
I'm like, we are so sad that Jodie, like as she's dying and she's like, I wish I had more time. It's like, fuck. Yeah, I wish you did.
Well, like we wish you did too. We really wish you did too.
It's
because I think it's also a bit of a mess on the show's part for having such gaps in between seasons and breaks.
Totally,
because even this now isn't going to come back until November of next year.
Yeah, assumedly it may come up earlier, but like at the very latest.
Because like I was having a quick look and it was saying pretty much
November.
November. But it's like how are you going to keep up the hype and the traction that you've gained from this? Because it's like this sort of hype can happen with like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and you have your breaks.
Because movies are expected to come out a year after another.
Yeah.
But with the TV series, it's like you've got at maximum maybe like 6 months before people forget and get bored.
Totally. They buy a Homelander figure and be like, why did I buy this? I forgot. Yeah, totally. Like I hope there is something in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it would be amazing if because it was the year of RTD, did lots of mini-sodes and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be sick if there was like a Christmas mini-sode.
Oh, please.
Like we don't get the Catherine Tate stuff is already set up by the time the episode starts. Like there's just a 20-minute thing where that all kind of happens.
That'd be really good.
That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be really good.
But yeah, no, awesome episode.
Yeah,
like
good ep.
I'm glad that we had fun with it, and that was the main thing we wanted out of it was a fun final episode with Jodie. And I think it was good. It was good to see Graham. We didn't talk about Graham, but Graham.
Never said why he was there. No. I guess he was there. That was great.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I love the idea of the companions thing. Like all of them kind of meeting up cool. is really lovely. Like you say, lots of setup. There's a lot of potential for like spin-offs, which Russell T Davies wants to do.
Yeah. Okay.
So like maybe there's stuff in this that cool. like RTD was like, I need this. Put this here because I need it for later.
I just realized, obviously, like, there's reasons why he wouldn't show up, but we never saw Captain Jack, and he was the one that warned her.
That's right.
About the Cybermen in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like, where was that? Again, it's just what they did to, like, they were, like, you know, just making a bit of a mess of things.
Yeah. They didn't have a plan.
No.
There was no plan.
No.
Yeah, I wonder what will happen with John Barrowman, because obviously he's Russell's baby. Like, he created Captain Jack.
But he's also cancelled at the moment, so...
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We may never see him again, but I'm very glad to have enjoyed an episode of Doctor Who.
Absolutely.
Entirely for the first time in a long while. Came for more. Glad that we got to watch it together.
Yeah, I know. It was very good. I mean, I think this is the first time we've ever, like, done something like this instead of, like, watching it at, like... at the
ABC.
The Whovians.
Yeah.
The Whovians. I wonder what Rove thinks.
We should find out. We should send him a message.
We got
Rove. His number.
You do.
Yeah. Mum does. That's who has his number. Totally.
It was very good. But yeah, I reckon once this show comes back, we'll definitely be doing this more.
Yeah,
often.
for sure.
Yeah.
This is a fun thing to do. Just screaming at the television.
Yeah.
And if you want to see those screams, you can hear our Patreon exclusive commentary. Head to patreon.com/each of their own. $3, get into our Discord. You can put more money in if you want more things, but $3 should get you in, and a link to the commentary. I'm going to definitely do a little edit of our big moments to put up on YouTube. I think we need a bit of a reel to go up on the socials. Yeah, totally a reel. Yeah. A 5-second countdown and then just screaming.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just like a 30 seconds of just screams.
Yeah, absolutely.
But really, really fun. Really great to watch it with you. And
good.
I think it'll be the first of many of these sorts of things.
Yeah, good.
Where can people find you though?
Well, I mean, you can find me here and in the Discord if you did want to give that $3. But you can also find me on Instagram at Sam's Studio AU. I do a bunch of fan art. Just recently posted a one for Who.
Hot off the press.
It's been sitting there for like 4 or 5 months, and I was like, I'll post it now.
It's good. It's so clean.
Oh, thank you.
Like, genuinely, because there's a few photos from the specials. There's like a photo of him at the door and stuff, which looks really good. But I was scrolling through Twitter and I was like, oh, it was like, they've done a cool little promo photo. I genuinely was like, it looks legit.
No, it's just me.
Just me.
But yeah, no, if you want to go check that out, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Give it likes, give it shares.
Thank you.
Until the next time, though, I've been Will.
And I've been Sam.
Oh, it's so good to like Doctor Who again.
I know.
It's so good. Aren't you glad you kept that shirt? That is the best shirt they made as well.
Is it? Do you reckon?
I think it was their best. Because is it Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor Who Festival. There you
go.
Yeah, that's in. I love that shirt. That one's, I think, their best shirt. Audio listeners, Sam's wearing a shirt.
I'm wearing a shirt.